The Boston Celtics are going to be in the conversation for NBA challengers for years to come, with the emergence of Jayson Tatum has excited the Boston Celtics from being this kind of nice story to like, oh, maybe they could get to the NBA Finals, to potentially raising the 18th banner in TD Garden and even the 20th banner in TD Garden if we're talking about it. But the real question is, what is wrong with this house? It has a great view, awesome location, and Brad Stevens and the Boston Celtics are the foundation of it. But are there cracks in this foundation? That's the real question that I want to know in this fixer-upper. And here on The Charge, we're going to be discussing those cracks and what the Boston Celtics can do to prevent those cracks.
LeBron James all the way in.
Here comes Simmons the other way, 3-on-2. Simmons eludes the defender and lays it in with that. Certainly the length altered that shot. Not a big window. Steps.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here, bringing you yet another video here in The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And before we get started on to today's video talking about the Boston Celtics Fixer Upper, go and check out our other videos that we have here on the channel on Fixer Uppers, talking about the LA Lakers, can Brandon Ingram become an NBA superstar, and also the Chicago Bulls, can they get a playoff push in 2019? Now, like I said, we got to talk about the Boston Celtics, which are of course my team. I love talking about them, and I don't really talk about them much on the channel, as you know, there's been a couple of Laker videos, so maybe some people are questioning that, but the Boston Celtics are my team, and here on The Charge, like I said, we're talking fixer-uppers. Now, like I said, there are two cracks in this house, and the first crack that I want to talk about is the Kyrie Irving problem. It is no secret that Kyrie Irving wants to be the man of his own franchise, as he left a comfortable situation with LeBron James and winning championships, at least one, with LeBron, and now wanted to become his own man in Boston. He wanted to become the Nightwing, as I like to call him. At first, it was the ideal situation for the Celtics. They had Gordon Hayward, they had Big Al, that were great players, dynamic duo along with Big Al that could potentially carry this team from being a nice playoff team to potential, like I said, NBA Eastern Conference Finals contenders. But what happened was that he got hurt at the end of the season, which kind of cost him a lot of minutes, and it cost him a chance to really get his revenge against LeBron James. And now that that's happened, Kyrie Irving doesn't want to re-sign his new deal. He doesn't want to do a contract extension. Because if we remembered when that whole ordeal happened with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving had a list of where he wanted to go, and the Boston Celtics were not on that list at all because I don't think he could become the man. The ones that were on his list, of course, were the New York Knicks, which are rumored to be in contention along with the Brooklyn Nets for Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler, as Jimmy Butler also declined his contract extension. I think it's going to be an interesting situation if the Boston Celtics are able to hold on to Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving to me is a guy that you probably should try and hold on to. And the real question is, can they win a championship without Kyrie Irving? Let's look at the negatives first. You're obviously losing a big shot taker in Kyrie Irving if he decides to leave. He's a guy that takes clutch shots. If we remember the NBA Finals, he hit that clutch shot over Curry to win the game. Even though LeBron James had the block and he's more noted for it, Kyrie Irving had a really big shot that really goes unnoticed in NBA history because LeBron James is the one in the spotlight. And I think, like I said, that's the reason why he left the Cleveland Cavaliers and wanted to become his own man, like I said, aka Nightwing. But now, like I said, Kyrie Irving leaving, the negative is that, but the positive is the fact that it kind of leaves cap space and really brings in guys. Maybe you excel Terry Rozier's acceleration in terms of progression and growth if Kyrie Irving leaves. I know Terry Rozier is a great player, but he's not as good as Kyrie Irving. But what it will do is that it will instill the confidence in Terry Rozier to be an NBA starter. Maybe Marcus Smart starts, but I would like to see Terry Rozier start, see what he can become with starter minutes. You know, last season in the playoffs, we saw a little bit of what he can be. He's a little bit inconsistent, but at the same time, if he has a full season under his belt, maybe he's going to be a lot better. And like I said, that's the first crack, and that's the first question I want to ask you guys. Can the Celtics win a championship without Kyrie Irving? That's going to be the first question that we're going to ask here. The second one is the blessing in disguise. The Hayward injury at the beginning was a huge blow to the Celtics season, as many of us, including me, thought that we could at least make a decent playoff push and maybe fall short in the second round. Brad Stevens, the coaching protege, the coaching mastermind that he is, orchestrated this team beautifully and gave and instilled the confidence in Jayson Tatum to become that next guy. As we remember, the Boston Celtics traded the number 1 overall pick to the Philadelphia 76ers so they could get a first-round pick. I believe it was in next year's draft. They get the Sacramento Kings one, or they get the Philadelphia 76ers one. I can't remember what it was, but they ended up doing that. But the Boston Celtics were always going to be drafting Jayson Tatum, as Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball were the first two taken. And looking at it, when we signed Kyrie, I was like, maybe we get another point guard. Maybe Markelle Fultz, he can be the 2 guard. But I was proven wrong as we got Jayson Tatum, and I know I like Jayson Tatum, but I didn't know he was going to be this good this quick. And Jayson Tatum showed you why he was this good this quick. Even though he was in the system, and I believe that if he wasn't in the system, he would honestly be probably close to an NBA All-Star and potentially win Rookie of the Year over Ben Simmons. But in the system, he played excellent, he played well, and he kind of balled out in the playoffs, especially against that series against the Cleveland Cavaliers where he posterized LeBron James, and I'm going to show the clip up here. He posterized him, and it really solidified his place in NBA history as becoming the next guy. This offseason, he's been training with Kobe Bryant. I know a lot of Lakers fans and a lot of Celtics fans are really upset about that because that's like working with the enemy. No one really likes that at all, but I do appreciate Kobe Bryant trying to help out Jayson Tatum, as I believe that Jayson Tatum could be our version of Kobe Bryant. And the reason why I like that so much and the reason why he helped him out so much is because he sees himself in him. If we look at the detail that Kobe Bryant did on Jayson Tatum, it was the most in detail, no pun intended, that Kobe Bryant had on a player. And Jayson Tatum said he studied that and watched that for about a long time. The only concern I have about that is the memes that were made from it, especially the Kobe, if I'm stuck in a double team, what do? Just shoot over the double team. I feel like that's what Jayson Tatum's going to do. Hopefully that's not the case. Jayson Tatum's a smart player. I have no doubt that he will make the right play. And Kobe Bryant always usually made the right play. Even though he had that kind of Mamba mentality, he still made the right play no matter what it was. But talking about now, Jayson Tatum, the real question about Jayson Tatum's acceleration to where he's now should be a starter for the Boston Celtics is, how are the NBA minutes going to be spread? Because if we look at the team right now, you have a lot of guys that really deserve a lot of those NBA minutes. You have Aaron Baines, Jabari Bird, who's probably not going to start, but you have Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, Kyrie Irving, Marcus Morris, Marcus Smart, Jayson Tatum, and Daniel Thesis. A lot of guys that really should have started for the Boston Celtics. There are a lot of starters there, but few minutes there for those type of players. And the question is, even though we have Brad Stevens as the foundation, can Brad Stevens, gel together those guys? A lot of them, want starter minutes. They've always been accustomed to starter minutes, and now they're going to be kind of reduced a little bit. Is this going to be changing for the Boston Celtics and Brad Stevens to where maybe you have to let some of these guys go? But I think Brad Stevens is, like I said, a prodigy. He knows how to get these guys the best of their ability, one. And two, I know that he's always going to be a guy that always plays the hot hand and always makes sure that who's ever in that's doing really well, he's going to play them until, he feels that they're tired or they need to sub out. And Brad Stevens is a guy that I know that can handle the minutes and manage these superstars because I've seen him done it before numerous amount of times. And I think Brad Stevens was the perfect coach for the Boston Celtics, as he seems just like a New Englander kind of, Boston Celtics type of coach in the making. And that's the two questions that I got to talk about in this Fixer Upper. Other than that, I don't think there's much that I need to add to this team in terms of what I would add. The only question is talking about the cracks in this team. Are those two cracks going to be a big deal for the Boston Celtics as they try to accomplish what's never been done before in trying to get the 18th banner, but maybe potentially get the 20th banner over the Goliaths known as the Golden State Warriors? Now this year, talking about them, I think that they can win the NBA championship. The real question is, can we keep Kyrie Irving healthy? Is Gordon Hayward going to go back to his old self where he was in Utah the last year? And is Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown going to be taking that next step forward? I know that Jaylen Brown now maybe he can potentially become a star, and can Jayson Tatum become a star to superstar in the second season? I know that the game is built differently, and I think Jayson Tatum can do that. Even though it's a system, even though, there's a lot of people that want their points and their assists and rebounds, I think this team has one goal in mind, as they want to defeat what is known to the whole NBA fan universe, the Goliaths of the NBA, as no one likes this team, even though they signed Boogie Cousins. And looking back on it, I don't really mind the Boogie Cousins thing anymore. I know a lot of fans call me out on that. That's perfectly fine. You're entitled to your opinion about Boogie Cousins, and I think I changed my mind on Boogie Cousins. I think it's actually a pretty good move, but a risky move, as he could potentially either harm or help the Golden State Warriors going further. But talking about the Boston Celtics, like I said, this team is gearing up, as Jaylen Brown also talked about this, and he said that he guarantees that the Celtics will reach the 2019 NBA Finals. Brown rejected the suggestion on the CJ McCollum Pull-Up podcast, saying that they're going to get to the finals, no question about it. And one of the questions that was brought up is, will the Celtics advance because LeBron James is no longer there? And this is what he had to say. I hate how everybody is like this. Oh, LeBron's gone from the East, Brown said. I know he had a stronghold in the East for 7 years, but he barely got out of there this year. And our mindset was like, man, he's not beating us again. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to talk about the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers and potentially having a rivalry there. If the dynasty is close to the end, as Colin Cowherd predicts for the Golden State Warriors, the next dynasty could be the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics. A renewed rivalry starting back from Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain to the days of Magic and Larry Bird. Those are the one I want to see, Kobe Bryant and Paul Pierce. I want to see those rivalries renewed because the NBA is in a perfect place when the Boston Celtics are good and also when the LA Lakers are good, as those are the two most historic franchises in league history, as they do have the most titles between the two out of all the NBA teams. You know, I believe it's 16 for the LA Lakers and 17 for the Boston Celtics. The real question is, I don't want basically they're the Magic, but I don't want the LA Lakers and Magic to get that 17th banner, and I don't want them to get to the 20th banner before we do. The Boston Celtics have been here the longest, and I think they deserve to get that banner. And the real question is, I got three for them. I got three questions for you guys. The first one is, can the Celtics win a championship without Kyrie Irving? Is the Boston Celtics the only fixer-upper where no moves have to be made? And does Frank Kaminsky need to eat more lasagna? Anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions, giving you the fixer-upper for the Boston Celtics. Go and hit that like button. Go and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel to get more fixer-uppers like this one. Anyway, guys, I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace.